What is there that you know you need to do, that you want to do this, but for some reason or another, you've been holding back for some reason or another. You just have not been able to gather your nerves or be able to work through the procrastinating or putting it off or justifying or blaming some reason or another. You just haven't done it, and you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. Now, first of all, we know that this is not easy, because in order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort that you really got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it, you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. I know I need to do it, yet leave me alone. No, I don't want to do it. So what do we do? What are those things that cause us to do like that? I think that among the things that prevent us from acting is the fear of failure, and if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing, because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody that we love very much, care about. We don't want to hurt anybody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. We want everybody to like us and to accept us, and that's not possible. Many of us don't do the things that we want to do and don't act because of lack of self-confidence. We don't believe enough in ourselves. I have a friend who's been working on a job where she's miserable, talented, want to go to another place that she can do what she wants to do and make the kind of money that she would like to make, and had some offers. But because of her fear and her lack of self-confidence of things might not work out, she won't take a chance on herself. So there she is, spending 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. She's miserable. She hates to go to work. They're not paying her what she's worth. She knows it. But yet and still she won't do that which she knows she must do, and it's wearing her out. And so what I'm saying to you is that as begin to look out on your life, this is challenging. This is not easy acting. So what are the things that we can begin to do to harness our will? Number one, you've got to bring it out and look at it. You've got to take the power out of it. You've got to expose it to the truth. And the truth is that it has no power over you. So write down something you want to act on, but for some reason that you've been holding back, and look at it. The next thing is, ask yourself the question, is it helping you to continue to put it off? If it's an asset for you to continue to procrastinate, then continue to do that. But if it's a liability for you, if it's causing you some mental and some emotional challenges, or perhaps a financial problem, look at that. Examine that for what it is. Next step, ask yourself, what's blocking you? What's preventing you from acting? Why don't you have the courage to handle that? Why won't you face that? What are you running away from? What kind of avoidance behavior are you engaged in? Next is, what is the worst thing that can happen when you take action? So I looked at that and I said, what's the worst thing can happen when I tell him this? He can say, I don't like you, and he did. Now what happened? I experienced that. I looked at that. I saw that. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't die. My feelings were hurt a little bit. I lost some sleep about it. And sometimes I think about it when I drive past his house, but I'm still here. It's uncomfortable, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me anymore. I've gotten used to it now. So what is the worst thing that can happen? I want you to visualize that experience, that feel the nervousness and the discomfort and the more why. Oh, you run it in your mind. The less power that it will have next is, how will you feel after taking this action? When we look out on our lives, you ask the question, what are you going to do? Look at it as you think about this, that you know you need to handle. What are you going to do? And then write down 3 strong reasons on why you know you must take action, and be explicit and descriptive in your reasons, because your reasons have power. Your reasons will drive you when you have doubt. When your faith becomes weak, your reasons will fortify your faith. When you have an inner conversation, say, no, don't do that. Your reasons will become your rod and your staff to comfort you, to take you through those challenging moments. So write down your reasons, and what you will find that when you decide to act, when you decide to take life on, and let me warn you, it can be painful, it will be uncomfortable, and that's where the growth is when you're uncomfortable. When you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, you're going to get thrown to the ground again, again, again. But when you have determination and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life. It gives a special meaning and power to you. You will have some power from on high. You will discover some things about yourself. That will begin to electrify your personality. You'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got. When you put yourself in that type of challenging situation, there are a lot of people that their jobs are making them sick because they won't act. You check out the absenteeism and the people that are depressed. You see them coming to work, angry, how you doing? I don't know. Have another friend. This guy's brilliant. He's a business consultant. He helped a lot of people get their business started. And people come to him because they know he's knowledgeable. But this guy won't start his own business. Now, he's very smart. He can do it. Everybody believes in him, except him. And he's so smart, he's talked himself out of where the numbers aren't right. So there are many reasons why we don't act. There are other things, though, that affect us. Is that not wanting to take personal responsibility. We want somebody else to do it. And many times we pick up our inability to do certain things from people that we love, people that we admire, we identify with them, and we live in the context of their ideas, their opinions, and their life patterns. We buy into it, unconsciously see life. Also things that can inspire us to act, see. We don't have the courage, and that's what it takes, courage. It takes guts to do that which you know you need to do if you don't have the courage to act life. Many times will move on you and make you act. Life will whoop your butt so bad, you will be so miserable. You will catch so much hell. You say, yes, I will do it. What do you want me to do? Take me. My mother is a pack rat. She keeps everything. She doesn't throw anything away, and I have unconsciously picked that up many times. Unconsciously, we try to honor the people we love by being like them. By the same token, I realized something about myself when I had some major decisions to make, and I found myself acting like my mother, C. My mother's the kind of person that when she has a problem with one of the other foster children that she adopted, she won't confront them. She will call me less. Why don't you tell Linda to move? She's lazy. She won't go to work. She runs the street all day. And then she comes home and wants to sleep all day. And I think she's doing drugs. I said, but Mama, why don't you tell Linda that I bought the house for you? I told you. When she wanted to come home, don't let a grown person come there and take care of them. You let her in. Well, after all, she's my child, Mama. Then you handle that. When I tell her to leave, she say, Mama, say, I can stay. Mama, can I stay? And you tell her yes. And then you call me and say she's still here. Why worry me with this? So Mama hasn't developed the courage to act on that. Some people won't act until there's a crisis situation. When Linda starts stealing from Mama and took a Social Security check to get some drugs, Mama got some courage to say, get out of here, don't ever come back. But she wouldn't do it until then and say, we don't have to wait until a crisis situation. But there's some people, it takes that kind of crisis to bring them into reality in order for them to act in their own best interest. Some people have to hit rock bottom in order to rise. I don't know why you want to begin to look out on your life and for you. And I think that when we begin to focus in the area of what does it take for us to act, I think we can say events can inspire us to act like that particular event in his life circumstances. A friend of mine, he wanted to do something and he just did not have the motivation and the drive and the confidence within himself. But his circumstances changed overnight through an acquisition of the company that he worked for. He lost his job through the inspiration of desperation. He had to act. See, many things we don't do is because of fact we want people to like us. There's some necessary losses in life. When you decide acting in your best interest, you're going to lose some friends. Everybody's not going to approve of you. There's some people that won't like you. Who do you think you are? You're arrogant. What do you think you can do? You think you can get away with that? You're selfish. Thanks. I got that friend of mine say, I can't stop smoking. I can't stop smoking. Doctor said, Sam Axelrod, you have emphysema. Sam never picked up another cigarette. And said, look at those stupid people smoking. Sam, you did it for 35 years. How can you talk about people while I was different? I'm trying to help them. They don't have to do the same thing I did, but be compassionate. Sam, isn't it interesting how quickly we forget? So I'm saying that look at something in your life. It might be just writing a letter to somebody and say thank you. It might be just to apologize to somebody. I had a confrontation in the Panopscope building with the security guard there. He responded to me what I perceived as a negative way, and he and I engaged in an argument. I did not like the way I handled that. I avoided going through the front door for a long time because I didn't want to face him. Finally, I decided to act. And I went up to him and said, I want to apologize to you for the way in which I handled this argument we had the other day. I was wrong. I hope you accept my apology. He said, I do. And I said, thank you very much. I felt relieved now when you decide to act. It's not always going to be like that. So I started talking to other people and I would ask them what they were doing. And I said, but is that your passion? And they would say, no. I said, then what's your real passion? And they would tell me what their real passion was. Then I said, well, then why aren't you doing what you really want to do? Oh, I can do it. And they would continue on. So this word, but just kept on coming up. And then it also has some friends like woulda and coulda and shoulda. And one day I'm going to have my own business. All people who talk about one day I'm going to sow. How is it that many times we block ourselves and we use these words almost like we're in a trance, like we're sleepwalking through life, that we find ways to cancel out our dreams, that I think that. But it's a dream killer that a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at. And we build a case. In fact, I was reading something the other day that talked about. But it says, but is an argument for our limitations. And when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them. See, but will cause you to procrastinate, but will cause you to hide out behind fear, but will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction and not acting on your dream. And right now, more than ever, people need to look for ways to live their dream. People need to look for ways to make it on their own. There is no such thing as job security. There's no such thing as a storm-proof or tragic-proof life. There are no guarantees today. Ladies and gentlemen, the illusion is gone. There was a time when we graduated from high school, you're told, go to college and get out. And you go and work for a corporation for 30 or 40 years. Give your goal watch and you'll retire. I want you to like this page and share if you got a goal, a dream, or something you want to do with your life. If you know someone that's positive and going through some stuff and ready to make a shift, I want you to like this page and share it with as many positive people that you can.